What do you think of the leak of the Twitter files?
I was so happy that Elon gave the information to Matt Taibbi and Barry Weiss, who are both, by any metric, lefties, who are both professional journalists of long standing with great resumes. And overnight now they're doing PR for the world's richest, or whatever the party line was. The fact that you had all these corporate journalists now having to play catch up and not having control of the microphone, to me, was just absolutely amazing. I think transparency is what brought down, in many aspects, the Soviet Union, and what will bring down what negative aspects of the regime we have here. When you see the machinations behind the scenes, and then when you see the rationalizations after the fact, you realize, oh, these people are not acting in good faith. The fact that, for example, the New York Post article about the Hunter Biden laptop and how the New York Times covered it as well. They didn't mention any kind of dick pics. Twitter made it so I couldn't even DM you the link to the New York Post article, which was a tool they had previously used only to prevent child pornography. So that shows to what extent they were willing to put their thumb on the scale. But it also shows that for any layman, when they're looking at this, to realize what you are perceiving as news or information is very much sculpted, edited, and guided by powerful people who have a vested interest in maintaining their power.
I think to me the important lesson is this is not a left or right thing. I
Oh,
think
not at all. It's
any
power
human
versus
being,
powerless. Yes.
and also the important lesson there, I think at least in the case of Twitter, in our society, it's a slippery slope. You don't get there overnight. You start
Right.
you start using those tools a little bit to slow down misinformation, to just a little bit. That you start sending emails to each other a little bit, and it becomes more and more. You start forming justifications. You start getting a little more and more comfortable, kind of talking about the stuff. I think there are several ways to fight that. One is having hardcore integrity up front, so don't even open the door. But I think realistically, human nature is what it is, and so I think the only way is through transparency. This is why I hate the fact they got politicized. I really hate that the right have run with it. Like, look, the left is planning the rigged elections and so on. To me, it shouldn't be left or right. It shouldn't be about politics. It's that transparency is good. Other
Yes.
companies should do the same. Facebook should do the same. And in fact, that transparency will protect Facebook. It will protect Google. Look, like this is our situation. Tell us what to do, and we'll do our best.
I remember when I was writing The New Right, Twitter's line was, we're not going to tell you guys what the metrics are by which we ban or censor people, because then bad actors are going to navigate around them. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, just tell people in any establishment what are the rules for which behavior is permissible. If I go to a store, if I return the sweater, is it cash back? No refunds? Or if I get store credit, you know what I mean? So that they were having this place which was presented as a huge international space for public discourse, and they're not telling you ahead of time, this is what we will tolerate, this is what we'll warn you about, this is what will kick you out overnight. That to me was crazy and outrageous. And I'm really pleased with to what extent Elon is being open with their policies. And what I really want to commend him about is now I'm triggered, because one of the things that he took over, he's like, our first priority is getting rid of child pornography and child exploitation.
Yeah.
Right. That was, he's like racial slurs, homophobic slurs, anti-Semitic slurs. Yeah. That's cool. Kids getting harmed is number one. And, he fired the old task force because they weren't doing their job. Eliza Blue, who she had been on this for a long time about people who were victims of child pornography, child exploitation, were emailing Twitter being like, these are my images, get them off. And they're like, too bad, porn is allowed on Twitter. He starts trying to crack down on it. This is a very hard problem because these bad actors have mechanisms to evade, being banned. They want to get their for lack of a better term, product out there. Forbes magazine, who is an agent of the devil, had a tweet, and they tweeted this 9 times. Now that Elon's here, Twitter's child porn nightmare has gotten much worse. They tweeted this 9 times. I looked up. Anyone listening to this can look up. Look at Forbes and do a search. They never mentioned this problem before. So now that Elon is doing something about it, now it's a problem for you. No, it's a problem. Elon's the problem. It's not the child porn that you guys had a problem with. And that to me is like, yeah, I understand that you think that Elon is a bad guy because he's upset your apple cart. This isn't a political issue. This isn't a gotcha moment. This is, all right, here are some tips. We talked to 10 experts, digital experts, and here are some techniques, Mr. Musk, that you might want to take from us free of charge that will help you solve this. That would be a great article.
And I just want to use this opportunity to say quite clearly and strongly that even though Twitter and other parts of the internet are interpreting some of my statements to mean I'm right, in this case, meaning leaning right wing, and in other cases, leaning left wing, I'm not. I'm apolitical, or at least I try to be in my thinking. Take one issue at a time. I do take an opinion on each issue at a time, but I hate camps. I try to avoid political camps in general. It sucks that promoting transparency in this case, or celebrating transparency, is somehow connected to being right wing.
No, it's being made into a supposed euphemism for being right wing.
It sucks. It sucks, even though I'm wearing a red suit, and this is a very red themed conversation.
Well, the revolution was the color of blood.